guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today it's gonna be a little bit of a different video. I feel like I've been doing a lot more vlogs, but today I thought we'd do a little bit more of a sit-down video. It has been raining off and on today. It's nice and gloomy. I got my candle lit, got a nice cup of tea. Today I'm drinking Christmas in Paris, which is like a nice chocolatey tea. Really like this one. And so for the past few months, my family as a whole, we have been collecting, I guess you could say, acquiring, maybe that's a better word. We've been acquiring lots of classic books. And since we have been acquiring these books over the past few months, I have been able to already read some of them. And I have some recommendations for you guys. So we're gonna do a bit of a hybrid video between a haul and a book recommendation video. So get a cup of tea, maybe light a candle, and let's just chat about some books on this nice, gloomy, rainy Wednesday. Let's start off with some Jane Austen books. I recently joined a Jane Austen book club, and before I'd never really read them, but since I joined with the intention that it would make me read them because I love the vibe, I love the movies, so like the vibe is just exactly what I need. But I've never read the books, so joined the club and I've started reading. The first book that I read for the club was Emma. Not gonna lie, it wasn't my favorite, but it was also my first Jane Austen novel. So I'm thinking maybe once I read all of them and then maybe reread them again, maybe I'll appreciate this one a little bit more. I don't know. I know a lot of people love this one and I did enjoy it, but so far hasn't been my favorite. But then again, this was the only one that I've read in its entirety. Now that brings us to the one that we're currently reading. February and March's book is Persuasion. I'm about halfway through, and so far I'm really enjoying this one a lot more than Emma. I feel like there's a bit more of a plot. I feel like in Emma it was just very chill, you know, they're just kind of living their day to day, but this one it's the same thing, but I feel like there's a bit more that's happening. So definitely enjoy this one. I haven't completely finished it, so I can't really review it, but I am enjoying this one. And the next Austen one that we have is Pride and Prejudice. This one I haven't read yet, but I am very much looking forward to reading it. I watched the movie, and I know I watched the movie before I read the book. I did enjoy the movie, but I feel like there's so much more that must have happened in the book, so I'm very much looking forward to reading this one. So those are the three Austen ones that I have here at the moment. Moving on to our next author, Charles Dickens. Now, I had to read A Christmas Carol in like 6th grade English class, and I really enjoyed it. So I have been really wanting to read some more of Charles Dickens, and I haven't been able to read either one of these yet, but it is on my reading list. First up, we have A Tale of Two Cities. This cover, is it in focus? I hope it's in focus. This cover is so beautiful. It's like a nice fabric. Oh, I love it so much. And then the second one is Oliver Twist, and this is not just the prettiest color of green. Green is one of my favorite colors. I just love this cover so much. Anyways, on these editions, they don't really have like that blurb on the back. So honestly, I don't know what these books are about, but I am very much excited to read these ones. These next ones I am very excited to talk about, and they are the Bronte Sisters. So let's see, what do I want to start off with? Okay, I've only read one of them so far, and I loved it. Let's talk about this one first. Agnes Grey by Anne Bronte. If you have not read this book, you need to read this book. It is so good. It's really short. It's like, how many pages is it? It's like barely 200 pages. Not gonna lie, it did take me like 2 weeks to read this because it didn't entirely grab me throughout the entire book, but as a whole, it's so good. This is by far the best book I've read in a while. This book focuses on Agnes, who is the main character, and she decides that she wants to become a governess. So she ends up going out on her way, finding places to stay and families to work for. And it focuses on two different families. The first family is terrible. Like, the way it's written, you are made to hate these people. Not a fan of them at all. And then the second family, so much better. Oh my goodness. But it's such a journey when she makes these friends and meets these people, and then there's like the family dynamics between different families she works for, and then her own family too. It's really short, fairly fast-paced, and it's just really a delightful read. This is the top recommendation probably this entire video. All right, now that I've talked about that one, let's move on to the other 3 books that we have here. These ones I have not yet read. So first up, we have The Professor by Charlotte Bronte. Okay, so I was mid-sentence talking to you guys about the Brontes and my camera died. So it's pretty much an hour later. Anyways, I got a snack, we're good, I'm back. Let's continue on. So before I got very rudely cut off by my camera, I think I was talking about The Professor. Haven't read this one, but I read a little bit on the back and it seems like it could be an interesting one, but I will give you guys an update once I actually read it. This one is by Charlotte Bronte. And then we have Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte and Jane Eyre. For the longest time I thought that Jane Eyre was written by Jane Austen. I don't know why. I mean, like, I guess like the Janes are in common, but it's not written by Jane Austen. Let me know if you guys ever thought that too. Oh my goodness, there are 2 cats on the neighbor's roof. Hi. You're so cute. These are the Bronte Sisters books that I have at the moment, and I know that there are a few more and I am very excited to just dive into all of them. So if you guys have been watching this video, I bet that you guys kind of have a bit of an idea of how this is working. I kind of find an author or group of authors and just roll with it. The next author, Louisa May Alcott. Little Women is my absolute favorite movie. And unfortunately, I didn't read the book before I watched the movie. I know this is the second time this has happened with one of the books that I've mentioned in this video, that I watched the movie before I read the book. I recommend both the movie and the book. They're definitely different experiences, I will say. The book, they're not quite as dramatic, I think, as the movie makes it out to be. Same vibes. Lots more stuff happens than what they show in the movie. And I'm talking about the 2019 one. And in that one, they really bounce around between time periods. So it's like when they're older and then when they're more, not exactly kids, but younger and growing up still. And it definitely helps to understand what's happening when you read the book first and then watch the movie, even though, I mean, it makes sense when you watch it without reading the book, but definitely read the book first. It is such a great book. I love it. I love all the characters. I keep trying to figure out which character I'm more like, and I feel like it really just switches off between day to day. I don't know, I just love them all. Such a sweet family. And if you guys didn't know, it's a whole series. I find it so annoying that people don't realize that there's 3 other books that go along with this. So there are 4 books in the series. It's Little Women, Good Wives, Jo's Boys, and Little Men. This is the first one. And I have tried so hard to find a nice set. I found one set, but the covers aren't that nice. And if you're a real like book nerd, covers are important. Oh my gosh, I just realized. You're kidding, this is the exact same book. Okay, I just realized that I accidentally got the same book twice. 2 copies of Little Men. I don't know why I didn't realize this when I was in the store. This is so disappointing. Okay, these are the Louisa May Alcott books that I have, and that just took a bit of a turn. The next section, these ones don't exactly go together, but I just kind of grouped them together. We have The Secret Garden. Still haven't been able to read this one yet, but my mom really recommended it and she loved this one, so we got this copy. It has such a pretty cover too. I'm hoping to read this one in the next couple weeks. We got a couple of the Puffin in Bloom editions. These ones are beautiful. I mean, I've just been talking about how pretty the covers are of so many of these books, but a nice looking cover matters to me just a little bit, you know? I have A Little Princess. I have this other copy of A Little Princess that I read a couple years ago. Very cute. I enjoyed this book, and since it's been a little bit since I read it, I am excited to read this edition. Same book, just different publications. So the next book in this little collection of 3 that I just put together is Heidi, and I just finished this book this morning, It's so cute. I loved it so much, and if you guys don't know, I am half Swiss, so it was really fun reading a book that is placed in Switzerland because since I live in America, a lot of the books that I read take place in America, so it's always fun to read books that take place in other countries like this one, and it just happens to be the country where parts of my family's from. This book is about the young girl Heidi, who is pretty much an orphan. She has an older sister, but her older sister doesn't really care that much about her, that part was sad. But she's sent then to the Alps to live with her grandfather, who is pictured here on the cover. He lives outside of the town. He's not really a friendly person, very shy, keeps to himself, lives in his own little area. But when Heidi comes, she really starts to soften him up, and then they end up moving down into the town eventually. But in between all of that happening, Heidi ends up getting sent away by her sister to live in Germany. She meets this other family and she lives with them for a little bit. I don't want to give you guys the entire story, but after living with the family for a little bit in Germany, she ends up going back home to Switzerland and to her grandfather in the Alps. It's just such a fun book about family, and especially Heidi's connection with nature and the difference between living in the mountains and living in the city. I'm not exactly sure if the author was Catholic or Christian, but there's a very strong presence of faith in the book, which as a Christian myself, I really much enjoyed. If you are able to read this one, I definitely recommend it. And I have 2 more before we're at the end. Got a little bit more to go. These 2 books my mom read when she was younger and she loved them. I'm terrible at pronouncing things, but there is this one, which was translated from Russian. My mom read it when she was younger, probably about my age, and she really loved this one, so we got it, and I am so excited. The second one then is Anna Karenina, and this book was also translated from Russian. We have these 2 Russian novels, and they are both massive. They're like 800 pages each. I am very excited about that. I love a nice, good, long book. So keep you guys updated on my final thoughts once I read these ones. And we are coming to the end. We have our last section of books that I am going to show you guys. They are the Anne of Green Gables books. I ended up buying this collection for myself for Christmas. I am so happy that I did. I don't want to take them out of the box because they're all nice and orderly in here. I have read the first one and the second one. The first one is Anne of Green Gables. The second one is Anne of Avonlea. That book was so good. And now I am going to be reading the third one next, which is Anne of the Island. I've been saying this about every single book so far, but truly I'm so excited to read these ones. I'm just a very excited reader, if you could not tell. Okay guys, that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope that you guys have enjoyed watching my little book recommendation / haul. I think it was more of a haul than a book recommendation video. Either way, I hope that you really enjoyed watching this one, and please comment down below any other sections of books that you want me to cover. Like, I covered classics in this video, but I could also cover non-fiction, fiction, fantasy, anything else, any other book genres. I definitely try to read a little bit from different kind of genres. So comment down below if you guys want me to make a legit book recommendation video or just a haul of some of my favorite books. And yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Would you stay till the morning light, or would you follow me, or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could do this right. We'll find the remedy, or would you stay with me now till the morning light?